Hello, everyone. Um, my name is Armand Leopold. I'm going to talk about data quality and why it is important today. So we can all agree that data is at the heart of AI's models today. But what if data that are biased are used to train models that end up in a hospital? It has really great issues. So I'm not going to sell you anything today. I just want to stress out this problematic. So here's a joke about the problematic. Everyone seems fine, but there is a big mistake in the data. But anyway, so I've worked in the field for 8 years now for different projects on with different companies, banks, intelligence, and healthcare. And I created a startup called Qalita last year, which is a specialized tool for data quality assessment and management. So just to knowledge, there are several types of AIs that don't require data, but they are theoretical for now. Despite the fact that general AI is a big milestone that big American companies are trying to achieve. So it's a general AI. So that's models that don't necessarily need pre-trained data and pre-labeled data. But that's not the case today. 100% of AI now are narrow AIs. So that's AI that use data that mostly are annotated by humans or semi-annotated by humans. And that's when we have the problem of data quality. So narrow AI needs a concept, a problem to be solved, specific one or large one. For example, I need to drive an autonomous car. I need to diagnose a patient with tumors, etc. And of course, we need data to related to the problem. So basically, data is a projection from the real world. You have the real world, you have your problem here. And data is just an interface between the real world and your problem that you want to extract the knowledge of to create an AI model. So that's your goal. But what if you mislabel your data? You end up with a model that is useless. So garbage in, garbage out. It can apply to any type of problems, any type of data sets. It's just a caricature here with the most famous cats and dogs detector, which is famous AI models in CNN. So we need data quality, but what is data quality? Data quality, basically, it's data requirements. It means that you have a set of rules that you want to assess your data set on, and you want to be sure that your dataset complies with this set of rules before starting to train any model on it. So just the pitch before or before that, Trusty.io talked about challenges, data challenges, and they said that they had 4 months to assess the data. So basically, 80% of this time is just to ensure that the data is good quality. So it takes time, but it's really important. Why? Why in healthcare especially? Of course, you know, it's really important because it's a complex field. You have a lot of different data types, data modalities. You have images, you have TEP scan, MRIs, you have clinical data, you have DNA. So it's really complex, and because it's complex, it has a lot of data, you have to be really sure that your data meets the requirements. There are examples here. It is used for diagnosis. We have already real-world examples. And it's used in treatment for precision medicine. Nowadays, it's used a bit, but it will be more and more used in the future. So especially with biomarkers. And of course, it's really important because you can't afford to fail. It has high stakes. It's the healthcare, so you can't do bad predictions. And lastly, more recently, the EU released the EU AI Act. And in this paper, there are a classification of AI models. And health is high-risk AI models, AI systems. So they need more requirements. And one of them is establishing a data quality system. So you can review it. It's in public. It's in their website. So it really has, we already seen real-world example of data quality issues. DeepMind released a paper in 2021 saying they reviewed a lot of use cases of ChatGPT, and they said that they saw 21 risks, and 70% of them could be mitigated at the point of origin by better curating the data used with the models. And during the COVID-19 in the UK, they had a report from the Alan Turing Institute that reported that they had a really big issue with data governance and data quality. You also have business impact, of course. Major companies have already used and are using AI. Also, big part is using chatbots. So McDonald's, they tried to replace the employees that do the ordering at the drive-through by a chatbot, and it was a big mistake. You have a lot of cases. Basically, in New York City, tried to use the chatbot, and the chatbot encourages the business owners to break the law, basically. So, yeah, too bad. And Air Canada, with their chatbot for ticket replacement, was totally wrong. You also have issues with algorithms. A big famous example is with Amazon. They had a recruitment AI bot for pre-screening the applicants. And the bot was trained only on male resume. So it had a big bias, and they didn't recruited the female because the AI was always escorting female. And Zillow is a big rental company in the US. They made 200 million loss. They lost 200 million using AI systems. So how do we apply data quality? Basically, three things. We cut the problem into pieces. So I told you that they had rules. You can categorize them, and they become dimensions. So your data set needs to be assessed on all these dimensions to be conform. And so that's a big challenge, but at least you smaller the problem. You reduce the complexity of the problem. You follow workflow, so an iterative workflow. You do profiling, you do data quality assessment, you assess your rules, you compute the metrics. And then you identify anomalies, you prioritize them, and then you take action. Whether you skip the data that are not meeting the requirements, or you label it, you correct it using active learning, and you iterate. It's a loop until you reach the scores you need for your data set. And third, you keep human in the loop, so accountability with governance and ownership. Data sets are produced by people or by systems. You need to know and to identify who is producing the data set, who is producing the data, where it comes from. And active learning, when you annotate data, always have check with a model and validation by a human. So key takeaways. Data quality is crucial, and it's for a reliable and trusted AI models. Poor data quality leads to errors and biases, And consequences are often indirect because it's not bad in itself to have bad data quality, but when you are using it to take decisions or make predictions, it's at that time that you make a mistake and have bad consequences. And the importance of human invalidating decisions made by machines and algorithms. So ensure that data quality is part of any AI project. Thank you.